All right. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, dear friends. Wow. I am so honored on this July 3rd, 2022 to be joining you on this global healing miracle experiment call. It's just like so much joy to see each of the people that shows up live, and obviously whoever's watching the recording. And it's amazing how deep when you apply the ancient secrets of a master healer, how deep it can transform us, how many miracles can happen, how many layers there are, and how just so many different levels of journey. And as we're nearing July 4th, Independence Day, one of the questions, one of the things that I love most about these ancient secrets is it's not here to make anyone dependent. It's here to make people independent. Dr. Ram, his whole mission to use the ancient secrets to touch every heart and home on earth, to bless them with the power of the ancient secrets, was to make people more independent, make them know they have a choice. And it's on so many levels too. It's not just physical independence, but even I love it in chapter 9 when he's talking about how we're all programmed. you know, since we're kids, we're programmed by our family, we're programmed by our community, we're programmed by school, by TV, by newspaper, all kinds of programs about who we think we should be, what we think we should be doing with our lives. And one of the most powerful questions that the ancient series ask is, what do you want? What do you want? And I remember there was one situation where Dr. Naram, he asked this woman, what do you want? And she first of all looked to her husband, what do I want? He's like, no, it's not what he wants for you. It's what do you want? What do you want for yourself? What do you want? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what do you want to create? I just got off the phone with Sister Joni, who came on the call about a month and a half ago or a couple months ago, who's this beautiful Catholic nun that's had such great results. She says her fingers are 70% better from having the Hmong soup and the home remedy that's in here. Even just from having mobility in your hand, how much more freedom you have. Things we take for granted. But when you have mobility again in your hands, so much more freedom to do what you want. But then she said that everyone she's talking to, when people are so afraid of the state of the world, she keeps saying, no, it's important. You need to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? And on today's call, we have such powerful story about this. About 6 months ago, this woman asked herself this important question, or actually I asked her it. It was at the wedding of Aaron and Heidi, where they wanted to create a circle of infinite love. And to every single person that came to their wedding, which they asked me to officiate, which was so beautiful, they gave a copy of the book, a Hmong soup kit, a pulse consultation. And then for 6 months, we've been doing this experiment. And I'm so excited. I just want Marissa, I don't know if you can unmute yourself and just say hi. We'll have you share in a little bit, but just make sure we got you there.
Morning, everybody.
Yes. So excited for you to share today, Marissa. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know we got more people that will be joining us to give you love and support. And actually, Jana, maybe I want to say thank you to this amazing team who have been serving with love, actually, since the book was even published. Just signed up to be part of the Miracle Dream team. And since then have been serving with so much love, just because they believe in the mission. And Jane, are you there?
I am here.
Yeah. So grateful, Jana, for how you show up every time I see you. It lights my heart up. And I just feel so grateful. When in the Miracle, for those that don't know, in the Miracle, in the Dream Team application, it says, are you interested in leadership? And Jana says, I am, but I don't think no, on second thought, no, I'm not. And so I was like, no, yeah, that means you are. At the very beginning, she just was helping do data entry, basically, but did it with so much love. And since then, I've just seen that everything she does, she follows so much the principle in the opening quote of the book. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And it's so guided by love. Thank you, Jana. So grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you and for this community and for this book. It has changed my life. so deeply grateful to even
Yep.
see that there is another way of living.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And where are you joining from right now?
I am outside of Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah,
Yeah.
Georgia. Oh, so cool. Well, I want everyone to go ahead and put in the chat. It's so fun to see where everyone's joining from. And today we have a real intimate group on the call because of I think it's because of the holiday. And so whoever's here, I'm so happy that you're here. So excited to celebrate with you in this call. Jana, do you have a question you feel like would be a good one to ask everyone to start off the call?
I have, in the miracle experiment experience, the last principle that we work with is gratitude. And it has just been really on my heart today. What are you grateful for? What is it that you're grateful for? I am so grateful for my family. I'm so grateful for my sister and my brother-in-law and all their children. And it's just fun to be around people. I was in Atlanta for a lot of years, and I was by myself pretty much. I didn't really engage too much into the community. I did a little bit, but not like I'm used to. And so it's so nice to be with a chaotic household. I love it. So anyway, so that's what I'm grateful for today. What are you grateful for?
I love that. I like Bettina. She says, I'm grateful for these weekly calls. So beautiful. I love seeing the people on this call. I love Afzal Mooney. I love your joining from Toronto. Susan and Joseph, I love seeing you join. It looks like you're safe and back from the beach vacation. Yeah, that's so fun. Christine, so happy to see you here. Michelle, so grateful to see you here. Heather Ford, oh, so beautiful. Brad, yes. Bobby and Beverly, so good to see you here. Robin Lee and Luke, yes, Luke, so good to see you. Susan Gibbons, Mulvaney, so happy. And Bridget and Joel, I'm so glad to see you here, brother. Chris, yeah, Jimbo, yes. Oh my goodness, Gavin, so happy to see you, Gavin. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and share where you're joining from.
Yeah, I'm joining from North Florida, near Pensacola.
Yes. Is your mom joining the call today too?
Yes, she is. Yep.
Okay. She has such a powerful story from, we're just completed. Today is the last day of the small groups for the most recent 30-day miracle experiment experience. And she has such a cool story to share. I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to hear. And Gavin, every time I see you, it makes me want to start up those calls that we're doing for helping the homeless. Your presence, one reason I love just having the calls was just so I could see you and hear your inspiring ideas. And so good to see you again, Gavin.
Thank you. So good to see you.
Beautiful. Michael Evans, I love seeing you here. Jimbo, wow, what a miracle time we spent together. I think I said hi to Chris Richardson earlier. Isabel, Laurent, I'm so happy that you're here. You got just that light shining on you, like you're glowing like an angel right now. Yeah, I just show everyone. So beautiful. I love that. Where are you joining from, Isabel? Let's see if you can unmute yourself.
I'm from Belgium, if you know where it is.
Belgium, yes. I know Belgium. I love Belgium. Good.
Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. What's one thing you're grateful for today, Isabel? When Jana was asking that question.
Today it's somebody who takes care of my computer.
Oh, that's a very good thing to be grateful for. You have such a beautiful smile as well. I'm so glad you're on this call. Beautiful. All right, Gina, you can walk through. You can everyone else whose name I didn't mention, I didn't have a chance to read through, but Ronnie and Jerem, Liliana, Elio, back. I don't know if you're back from Mexico, but so good. Lori, Dr. Rajendra, so good to see you. Nehemiah, oh yes. I have such a cool miracle story for you, Nehemiah. I have such a fun story to share with you today. Dr. Rajendra, where are you joining from today?
Dr. Roger, Clint.
Oh, so good to see you.
We had one contact almost like 2 years ago, just after Naram passed away.
Yes.
And I am very close to Naram. When he was alive, he came to visit me in Boston and our family. And I knew Smita and Pankaj when they know Krishna. And I think that we have to reconnect. And when you come to Boston, because I left India in 1969.
Mm.
So right now I am in New Hampshire in my retreat. I have a retreat where we do a lot of gratefulness for other people who are having not the same kind of luxury like what I got it because of my hard work and family support.
Mm.
Because I left India, when I left, I had only $8 in my pocket.
Oh my goodness.
And I was a Czech government scholar, so I went to Prague doing neurosurgery.
Wow.
And I have been doing now neuropsychiatry consultation, and I retired. I'm 81 years old. And I miss
Dr. Ram would say you're 81 years young. 81 years young.
whatever you give me the title, I'll take it, because you seems to be, in my understanding, very, very astute, intelligent man.
Oh.
And
Well,
please,
anyone who
please
says that,
help
you can speak for
Nepal.
much, much longer. Let's have you keep talking.
No, what I want you to do, you want me to call Dr. Clint or Raj or what?
What I want you to do in this moment, I want you to share what attracted you to Dr. Naram and what attracted you to the Ancient Secrets. Because really, honestly, I'm I feel like I
I
have
will
so
be
much
very
more to
ha-
learn. But I
I
feel like
will
you're
be
a
very-
brilliant man. And
I
so
will
what
be very-
attracted you?
I will be very happy, because when I left India, one of our relative was working for Pankaj and Smita in their Ayurvedic organization in Bombay.
Uh-huh.
And when I went in 69, 70, Smita wrote a letter to me expressing that Bharti, that is our relative, okay, last name same, Trivedi, is working with us, and we would like to bring the very ancient medicine knowledge what Pankaj and she started, and using it for many, many people in India, to bring it to USA.
Mm.
And I was not knowing much about how to bring FDA approval and all that thing, because I was in my own world. So I say, you come and we'll try to work it out. Then we met once. But Pankaj knows very simple way of living, and he was very much high thinker.
Mm.
He knew what he was doing, and he knew more than knowing the medical part or Ayurvedic part or ancient medicine. So I think that you pick up that and you are promoting that like Deepak, because Deepak comes from here. You know Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, Deepak Chopra, I know.
So I think that you need to do what you are doing it. And if you help poor people, that would be more important than people who are looking for some kind of answer and have money and whatnot. You
Well,
need to do what you are doing in Nepal, for example.
I'll tell you what, I just spent 3 months in Nepal doing this exact thing, Dr. Rajendra, and I was helping all these people. So I think you and I are very aligned. And
I think that I will be very happy if you come and visit me sometime in Boston. We'd like to have you here, and we can do some nice work, because we have one of the largest organization in Southeast Asia for all the disabled people.
Wow.
It started in 1954
Well,
by my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, who was blind and a physiotherapist.
Mm.
And my brother, who is there, 86, in LA, and he is a musician. He knows a lot. And my oldest sister is 95-year-old. She's in LA, and she is the first lady pharmacist and knowing a lot of things about medicine,
Wow.
Ayurvedic medicine.
Well, you're reminding me so much. Probably, I don't know, maybe it was about 6 months before Dr. Ram transitioned out of his body. I got the most wonderful voice message, and it was from a doctor in Boston who said, he's like, I saw your TEDx talk. Two of my children, or one of my children is a professor at Harvard. We want you to come and we want you to present at Harvard. And so, I haven't followed up with that, but I would love to come to Boston.
Please do.
I'd love to meet you there. And I put in the chat, I don't know if you can see the chat, but I put in it, my executive assistant, Monica, is the one that's organizing my schedule right now for the end of the year, where I'll be visiting many cities in the USA. And there's just a form to fill out. I'll just put it again one more time, but I would love it if you just fill this out so she can get all the information. And it's about hosting, and we can also, every city that I go to where we do something, at the end of the clinic, we go and we help homeless and we help those who need it the most. And Dr. Rajendra, I would be so honored to do this with you. And
I will be very happy. You call me, I contact you a few times before. When you have time, you contact my number and please say I want to visit Boston. I have a very simple life, and you can see behind here my son.
hello.
He's 41, and we are on the farm. We are on the farm, 11-acre farm, and we do retreat here for people who wants to learn something about without any money.
Wow, you're such a servant of humanity. Thank you, Dr. Rajendra. So grateful.
Nice
for
to
you.
meet you. Nice
So
to
nice
meet you.
to meet you. So nice to meet you and feel your wisdom, your integrity. And I look forward to having you on this call. I can see Esther, Francis, and others are sending you so much love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
God
Namaste.
bless you. Gidra, so good to see you, Esther. And then we got Rick and Ann Taylor, who I met in Mount Shasta.
Hi, Dr. Clint.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love to see you're in a car. And can you say where you're on your way to right now?
We're at an Indian
Grocery.
grocery that has authentic spices for India.
Okay, why are you there? Why are you at an Indian grocery store?
We came to get our ingredients for mung bean soup. If you want to see it, we can show you those signs.
Yeah, I want to see it. Oh,
Show them.
fantastic. The Bombay Grocers. Authentic Indian groceries and spices. That's awesome.
Next to the Little Caesars pizza.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry.
The dichotomy. Well, for those that don't know, on page 173 of the book is a recipe for mung soup. I just came from such a powerful, beautiful experience being in Mount Shasta, presenting an event. I think also Shay, let's see, there's some other people on this call that may have been there as well. Roma Rishi and Tara. Roma Rishi already spoke. Oh, yes, Ray and Sahat. I don't know, the camera, the lighting's a little bit bad, but can you just say hi as well? Let's see if they're able to say hi. I know it's early
Angels.
morning.
Hey, good to see you again.
Oh, you guys are glowing. Fantastic.
How are you flowing?
Oh man, this feeling of seeing you, of being here with everyone that's on this call, of celebrating life, celebrating love. And on today's call, something so magical is going to happen. I'm so glad that you joined.
Thank you for having us.
It's our honor.
Can you just share when you, first of all, when you heard about the ancient secrets, but what you said when you hugged me? It was so beautiful.
Which one of us?
Both of you. Both of you.
Well, I tell you what, for me, I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to love you, and love will teach you. That by far is like one of the things that sticks with me, because I'm always, I love so much, and I care about everybody's journey, and I don't like to see people suffer, that I want to help everyone. And it's like, no, let me just love you, because then that will help you.
And for me, we saw you on Lee Carroll's Healing Wednesday a couple months back or whatever. And seeing you on the show and then seeing you in person, it was just amazing, because there was such a genuineness. You know, you can feel the love that's pouring out of your heart, Clint, and we just received that with so much gratitude and appreciation.
Yes.
And we're just like honored to actually have met you in person and, you know, be here right now.
So beautiful. I also love, I think Ray, it was when you were hugging me, you're like, so good to meet you again in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And then just so beautiful. I just remember you're like, what can we do to help this mission? What can we do to help Dr. Ram's vision, to help get the ancient secrets in every heart and every home? And you just touched my heart so much. I felt like you're my family, even though really we've had a total conversations of like minutes so far. Like this is maybe the longest we've ever actually spoken. Just, I love it when that heart connection is there and things are obvious. And so I'm so glad you're on this call. I just invite you at any time you want to today to unmute and share any feedback, any wisdom, any insight, any inspiration, anything that touches your heart. You're just here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the reason it feels like family is because we are family. It doesn't matter what lifetime we're in, we're always going to be family.
Yeah, so beautiful. And did you hear what happened to Rick and Ann at the event, or any of the other people? I don't know if you.
Mm-mm.
Rick and Ann, can you share what your experience was? First of all, why you showed up at the event, and then what transpired in the course of, just some of the things that happened while you're there?
Oh, wow. So we saw you on the Cryon Healing Circle of 12 as well. And I think I was Googling your website while you were still speaking. I was just like, this is amazing. We need to do more, find out about this book. And sorry, there's a car next to us that's loud. Putting our window up. Anyway, when it was, I was trying to log off and the chat popped up, which I never really look at the chat on that. And you had written Mount Shasta, and I never saw the question.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, something happened with the connection. We'll have him come back on. But basically, she didn't even know I was speaking at the event. She just saw Mount Shasta and this, and then they flew from Michigan. Rick was in a hospital the week before, actually. Even the doctors didn't think he was going to be able to travel. But they just came hoping I would be there. And then when they saw me in the halls, before I even spoke, they gave me such the biggest hug and found out that we were doing a clinic that was just already full. But then we just had to make a spot. And it's so beautiful. After I presented at one point, she came and she's like, I have this pain shooting through my neck, my head, my shoulder. What can I do? You said there's a marma, and I shared one of the marmas, and I just says, press this point, do this thing. And she did. I saw her the next day. She's like, my pain is 90% gone. And let's see, we just lost the sound. And oh, good, maybe the sound's coming back on. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh,
That
good.
was weird. I don't know what happened. We just disappeared.
Well, if you're still in Mount Shasta, sometimes I'm just, the interference comes from all the UFO activity. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, we're back in Michigan, but
Okay, good. Well, maybe they followed you there.
Well,
Hey.
Michigan's a hot spot. It was the
Yeah.
third most sightings of any state was Michigan.
Wow, I
So-
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy you're back in Michigan and you found an Indian food store and you're about
Oh,
to make
yeah.
the mung soup for the first time. Did you have the soup at the clinic?
We did. It was
That
delicious.
Roma
And
Rishi made?
I made it once before when we got home, but I didn't have all the proper spices.
Oh, got it.
So it was good, but it wasn't as good as what we had at the clinic. So
Yeah.
we are here to up our mung bean soup game.
Well, so good. When I love it that when the soup at the clinic is so delicious, it gives people a good baseline, and I love Roma Rishi and Tara even being homeless. They made the soup and brought it to the clinic.
That was
That's awesome.
amazing.
Anything else you want to say about the experience at the clinic, or anything else that just from your heart you want to share?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Clint, because, when, like, my story that I was in the hospital on the Tuesday before the event with Cryon and stuff that we saw you at. And, I read your book while I was in the hospital, and it just was such a reset of mindset, to have that positive message. And the hospital obviously wasn't, it was a great hospital, but it just isn't positive in the hospital, so
Yeah.
it was so great to have that positive message of your book. And, remembering your smile and stuff, I remembered your smile while I was reading the book while you're on that Healing Wednesday program.
Cry on. And it was just, it was so great to see you in person. And I'll never forget, it'll be with me the rest of my life, that few minutes we spent together, holding each other's heart, or each other's, hand on each other's heart. It was just like an experience that was multidimensional. I really saw the God in you, and I could tell that you saw the God in me. And it was just a moment that is, kind of out of time and space and out of this dimension. I mean, we weren't really, anywhere else but right there in that moment. There was no other thoughts. It was just there. And it was so beautiful to look in your eyes and see that the God in you, your smile, you radiate that all the time, but that was different. It was really different. What was it like for you?
Oh
that
yeah,
moment?
just exactly the same. You saw in me what I see in you. And I knew that you had come from a real complicated situation, where, coming from the hospital and being, it's just easy to be in a state of uncertainty with situations like you're facing. And I just saw the divine in every single moment of your journey, the divine in who you are, the divine in your being beyond your body, the divine in your soul. I saw the divine in you. I saw the God in you. And I just was just in so much awe. It's like we each had our hand on each other's chest, and I was just looking in his eyes, and we had tears coming. We didn't even speak anything hardly at all. And it was just a real sacred moment. And so really so happy you're on this journey with us, Rick. And I'm so excited about what results can come for you. And yeah, just so happy they're here. And what a powerful partnership, when I see two people that love each other so much and are so devoted to each other's best, and so much growing and learning and loving and serving and taking any experience of life and just using it as a chance to deepen your relationship with each other and the divine. I'm just so happy about that. So thank you for joining today and inspiring me.
Thank you.
And I just want to say one other thing. There's no good or bad in anything, and there's good in everything, even the worst things that happen. And that seed of goodness that you talk about in the book, I've experienced that.
Right now, I'll be back in a couple hours.
Oh.
Keep going, Rick.
Well, that seed of something good or better in every experience that you might see as bad is so true. I had a heart attack in 2000, and I almost died that night. And there's been bad things that have happened, but there's been really good things that have happened too from that event. And that was 22 years ago. And just the, knowing that, you can make it through anything, and there's positive things that come of it. There's very positive things that come of it. And, I've just had that attitude, since 2000,
Wow.
with that, and meeting you just has been like great with affirming that positive attitude and, seeing that in you and in person. So
well,
I just wanted to say that.
I feel like that's probably what guided you. You definitely let love guide you, and that gratitude for, that quote in chapter 2, actually, I just flipped right open to it. Every adversity, every difficult situation or heartbreak has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. And and maybe for many people, I say, how could a heart attack be a blessing? Or how could any health situation actually have within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit? And on this call with our special guest that we're going to speak with, we'll have a little insight into that. But thank you so much. I also see Mark from Minnesota is joining us. That was also in Mount Shasta. Mark, I don't know if you can say hi. Let's see if you're able to unmute yourself. It was so beautiful. I saw in the chat, he said that even before, maybe he just got kicked off, but he said even before I spoke, just how Lee and Monica were lit up introducing. It was really beautiful. Ray and Sahad, now you know a little bit more about Rick and Ann's story. Any feedback from your hearts? Any thoughts?
I know for a fact that we were all meant to connect in this physical lifetime together so that we could share our light. So I know that seeing other family members who have gone through health issues, it's a catalyst, and you are choosing your light, and you're choosing to operate, navigate from a space of love, and that's going to carry you eternally. And that's also going to keep you youthful as well.
I look at sickness sometimes as like, I don't know if you guys watch superhero movies, but when the superhero gets their powers, they go through this recalibration period where they're in like kind of a lot of pain. But that's just the upgrade happening, right? If you allow it to take its place and you move through it, then you're allowed to bring in those upgrades. So that's kind of how we look at it. We're just upgrading.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel that, you know, even I feel like, man, through the Miracle Experiment experience, many of us have been participating in this 30-day experiment where we're applying the 3 principles. And I had some pretty big Aditi Devo Baba moments. Some of them was difficult in my life where the unexpected guest came, and then seeing it like an upgrade helped. In fact, I have such a fun story. I'm so excited for Marissa to share. Oh, also Wendell was at the event. I just want to say Wendell came to the Pulse Clinic, drove down from Ashland. I don't know, Wendell, you can just say hi. I see so many other people. I know Luke was there. It was so cool. And I see Luke and Sharon have your hand up. I'll call you. Jimbo was there. Wendell, could you just say hi? I just want people to meet you and know your presence.
Yeah, I was there. Drove down to Shasta from Ashland, about 70 miles away, so it was very convenient. I really wanted to have the experience of having pulse reads, my pulse read, and that's what you did. And the time wasn't a long time that you spent with me or any of us. Some longer than others, but it was beautiful. And I had the experience of really being seen. So I want to thank you for that. And yeah, it was quite lovely. And the group of people there who was in that clinic, about 15 of us, it was like a soul group. It was magnificent, really, really special. So yeah, I was happy to be there, and the mung soup was magnificent. So Roma Rishi and Tara, they were there. How lovely to meet them in person.
Yeah, and also I see Katie Amodio's on the call. Her and John had drove so far in, shared their amazing story. But real quick, Wendell, before you mute yourself again, and it's okay to say no. I want to respect your heart. But when I said, "What do you want?" and the first thing you said, it still is touching. Is it okay if I share with everyone on this call?
Yeah.
All right. When I because in the Pulse consultation and in lots of the healing meetings, we ask, "What do you want?" And when I hear things like what Wendell said, and first of all, everything anyone says is so beautiful because it's your soul's desire. It's honoring yourself. So it's a sacred moment, actually, to answer that question, what do you want?
Yes.
And when I asked Wendell, what do you want? The first thing he said is, I want health and I want happiness from my ex-wife. And I want to know if there's anything I can do to support her and help her in that process. And it just made me so happy because sometimes in life with relationships on any level, complications happen and we realize that our souls are not aligned for that specific relation, of partner. But the way in which Wendell and obviously his partner are navigating is in such that they are still wanting the best for each other and loving each other and have healed in such a way and transformed. I just want to say, Wendell, thank you for that. Thank you for that, inspiring me through your want, your desire, your presence.
Well, you're welcome, absolutely. And my expectation is that working with you and the Ancient Secrets will benefit my ex. And it was real clear. And I said, when we were together that I guess we're not done with each other yet. And even though the marriage has been terminated, I really get that no, that all of it has been agreed to probably in the inner between lives, and I've been with her numerous times before, and so I've got clearer about the depth of my relationship, and the fact that you were inspired by that was well, yeah, that's pretty cool. To love the people that in any particular life. And now I'm seeing if I'm around anybody else or any or other group, these are soul group people. And so when I'm coming from that, life is magnificent. So this was a lovely clinic and experience to experience, and especially being with you. So many thanks.
Oh, thank you. It's a tender place to talk about this at any point in time, but thank you for sharing about it. And thank you everyone for listening from your heart. Thank you for being open to love. And, when we connect with those in this way, I think it's contagious healing, and Wendell, one of the most important ways in which you'll help anyone is by helping yourself, by allowing the ancient secrets to help you have the things that you want for yourself. Other people will see it naturally, they'll just be inspired. Yeah,
I think that's so. I think that's the truth, and I'm expecting to experience all of that. So yeah. Wow.
So beautiful. Now I just saw iPhone. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but I don't want to call you by the wrong name either. I'm going to spotlight you just so that way if you feel comfortable to share. I don't know if you can see. Could you unmute yourself?
Yes, I did.
Something. Oh, fantastic. Tell me your name, your first name.
Miroslav.
Miroslav. Oh, okay, fantastic. And where are you joining from?
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. And were you in Mount Shasta as well?
No.
No. What inspired you to join this call, and what are you grateful for today?
I read your book, and I got this email yesterday, and then I just really admire your work. I'm really a bit disappointed after I read the book that the doctor is gone. I really love to meet him. Really amazing person. And you're a blessing to everybody too.
Oh, Miroslav, I'm so grateful you're on this call, and for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to come back to you at the end of the call to share what your takeaway is, since this is your first call. And for anyone who this is your first call, actually, if we can all put our hands together. And for anyone this is your first call, we just want to say we love you and we're with you.
I love you guys. So I love you too. I love you too.
For your presence. I'm going to bring on the call right now someone who knew Dr. Am intimately, and actually he's in the book. And Nehemiah, this is the miracle story I wanted to share with you. To see. Hello.
How are you?
Good. We are live on the call right now with over 100 people live on the Zoom, and many more thousands of people that will watch the Facebook Live. And I am so glad that you're here, Rabbi Stephen Robbins.
It's really a pleasure and an honor to be here. I'm sorry the Zoom isn't working somehow. I hate to be just voice only, but better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Can you raise your hand if you can hear Rabbi Robbins' voice okay? Okay, I see everyone raising their hand. That's good. Rabbi Robbins, to introduce you, I just want to share this miracle story with everyone that I shared with you briefly. So we talk about the principle about every adversity, every challenge, every heartache has within an equal or greater benefit. Now, when I was leaving Mount Shasta, I was at the airport, and I had left my cord when I was driving from Ashland to Mount Shasta. I had left my cord in the car of the beautiful person who had driven me. And so I didn't have any way to charge my phone. Also, my phone, for whatever reason, when I was in Nepal for 3 months, it wasn't uploading to the cloud. So it was reached maximum capacity so all my apps were breaking on it. I couldn't use WhatsApp. I couldn't use my email. Facebook app was gone. I was like, maybe God's just telling me to slow down, not be on my phone, be present. And then I got to the airport and I wasn't on the flight. I was like, oh my goodness. Now my friends, Brandy, Damien, they were all loading the same flight. We're supposed to be on the same flight. I wasn't on the flight. They said, we can't help you, but call the airline. So I called the airline. They put me on hold. They said, this will take about 15 minutes. I looked, there's like 3% battery on my phone. I was like, this is crazy. And honestly, in those moments, I thought to myself, my phone is a little bit like my body, my mind, my emotions, my soul right now, because little problems were happening in my body that were unexpected. And I was feeling sad and I was like, man, things are breaking down and I feel maxed out capacity. And, I was like, this phone is like me right now. I feel like I'm at the stretching point and life was hitting me from different angles, financial and relationship and so many things were happening. And I was just like at a breakdown point. And I remember I talked to the people at the front desk. I'm like, can you please help me get a cord, a charging cord? They're like, yeah, we have one. They went back and they're like, we don't know. It's not here. We're so sorry. And at that moment where it's like, okay, what else can I do? What else do I do in these times? And how can this quote be true? That every adversity, every difficult situation, every heartache has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. And I really was like, just surrendered, like, God help, Dr. Naram help. And at that moment, without even asking, because it's a small airport, I was at Reading Airport, there's a man and his wife who were checking in. They're the only other people there. And he pulled out of his bag a cable just with love and he handed it to me. He's like, this is a gift for you. I was like, whoa, thank you. And I had my little plug. So I plugged it in the wall. I finished the call. I got on the flight. But when I went through security, I saw this man and his wife. And I just wanted to thank him. I was like, you don't know how much that little act of kindness meant right at that moment. And I was like, I want to give the cord back, but I need it. Can I buy it from you? And they're like, no, you keep it. And I was like, well, I want to give you a gift in exchange. And they're like, no, please don't give us a gift. I was like, but I really want to give a gift. And so they accepted. I pulled out of my bag a book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, and I gave it to them. And honestly, they didn't look interested. They didn't look excited. They were very polite. And they accepted it. And then we got on the flight and I sat in my seat. And when I got off the flight, I saw this couple again and they came up to me so excited, so lit up. And they're like, you'll never believe it. We know someone in common. And they had been flipping through the book and they saw in the book Rabbi Stephen Robbins. And they said, my wife, the husband said, my wife was converted by her before she came to LA. We love him. And they're like, there is no meeting by accident. And then when I landed in LA, I called Rabbi Robbins and he was in the hospital where correct me if I'm wrong, but you're still in the recovery unit. Is that correct, Rabbi Robbins? In the which, say that one more time?
In the rehabilitation center.
The rehabilitation center. So he's in the rehabilitation center, just coming out of a surgery where mystical experiences had happened to him. And, the words you spoke to me were so beautiful. And it's just like, man, the ripples of love, like we're not alone. We're so interconnected. And Rabbi Robbins, anything you want to say about that experience or about, first of all, about that experience?
I've been trying to go back through my memory and my wife's to try and figure out who this is. But they'll contact us if they wish to. But this has been happening to me so much for the last 20 years that people from my distant past who I have shared moments of growth with through sorrow, through joy, through learning, through healing, have come back around to me one way or another. So when I get an event like this that happens, it is always in aid of my healing. It lifts my spirit. It confirms for me that I have had effect and purpose and meaning in the world. And it adds to my dimension of gratitude for my being in the world, regardless of what I go through. When you say that adversity leads to something greater in the end, as I taught before, the Hebrew word for miracle, pronounced nes, is the same word for the word for test or challenge, and that all miracles happen as a result of some form of a test that take you by surprise. Sometimes it's a surprise that's painful and difficult. Sometimes it's a surprise that's ecstatic and glorious. Sometimes it's a surprise that leads you down a path that changes the direction of your life. Actually, that's mostly what happens. And there are breakthroughs, whether you take that path, you take that surprise, or you don't. The paradigm of that I use is the story of Moses in the book of Exodus. When he's left Egypt, he's at the foot of Mount Sinai, married to the daughter of Jethro, the priest of Midian, serving at the base of Mount Sinai. Not many gods, but the one God. And he's a sheep herder. And it's turning dark, and the lamb runs away into the darkness. And Moses, excuse me a minute.
And while you're clearing your throat, I just want to come back. I want to make sure I understand this point as you're telling this powerful story. So the word in Hebrew, and Nehemiah, maybe you know this even also, maybe you can help me pronounce it, but the same word in Hebrew for miracle is the same word for test. And the test is a gift to us, because when we meet it, the miracle happens. And sometimes the miracle is just simply a shift in our perception. Is that correct? Did I get that right, Dr. Rabbi?
And it is not that God provides the miracle, it's that God provides the test. And we become the miracle.
And we become the miracle.
When we meet the test, which activates another dimension of the purpose of our being here that's imprinted into our original soul.
Wow. So let me repeat that again. What is the word for miracle again in Hebrew? Can you say that one more time? Nes?
N-A-S.
N-A-S, nes. So the test is provided, and as we show up and meet that test, it unlocks in us something that we're meant to be. It's imprinted in our soul that we're supposed to develop that capacity, that strength, that insight, that compassion. And by meeting that test, the miracle unlocks inside of us something that was always supposed to be there. And now is the right time to experience that. Did I say that correctly?
You did. And so God provides the test, and we become the miracle when we rise to the occasion.
So beautiful. I have on the phone right now, Rabbi Robbins, Nehemiah. He is also a beautiful soul who was in the book. He's the one that started serving those who serve, that helped so many of the 9/11 firefighters, first responders. And Nehemiah, are you there? Can you I just want to have you just respond in some way.
I would love to share. First of all, I want to emphasize, beyond Jewish and not Jewish, everybody is my brother and sister.
Yeah.
But Rabbi, you also my landsman, we call it. We are from the same land. Landsman. So I have to be careful in what I say in Hebrew, because there's someone that understands. So and when there are two Jewish, there are three parties. So he might have different understandings than mine, but I'll say it.
Yeah.
So, and I hope we won't get into debate, because when two Jewish people debate, it can last for quite some time. So I'll say something that I understand from the Hebrew language. Shalom.
I'll repeat it for you just real quick. He's just basically saying everyone is his brother and sister, and but there's some people that are from the same land. And then he's going to share an insight he understands from Hebrew as well. Go ahead, please, Nehemiah.
Yeah, and I hope we'll agree with each other, because I don't want to start a debate here.
Oh, yeah.
So, Shalom, peace, is a name of God.
Huh.
So when I tell you shalom, it's like namaste. I tell you that we are both good. Then we say lehishtamea, which means let's listen to each other in reflective way so we can hear the one inside us. And then we say velehitraot, and let's see each other as one divinity. So this is the way I always welcome people. Shalom, leishtamea, velitraot. It's usually said in the future present sense, but I feel it's in the ongoing infinite present at this moment. So I say to everyone and to your rabbi, Shalom, leishtamea, velitraot, tamid, always, forever. We don't even argue. That's wonderful.
Thank you, and so for you.
You know, Rabbi Robbins, I know as soon as you get out of the facility and you're able to be on video, we want you to share much, much longer. We have another guest right now, and I want to introduce. I'm going to record this and send it to you, Rabbi Robbins, because you're so much with us. But I just want to thank you for joining us for these few minutes. And
I would love to be on as soon as I get out.
And is it
I'll
okay?
get in touch with you when that happens.
Is it okay if we just, from all over the world, we send you a blast of love right now to support you in your healing?
Please.
All right, so everyone, let's put our hands together, which really does have power and impact. And rub your hands together, and with all the love, we're thinking of you, Rabbi Robbins, and we love you, and we're with you. We're sending so much love.
I feel it so clearly, like being held by a myriad of souls. It is just Shalom Aleichem.
Beautiful.
Wholeness to you all.
So for those who couldn't quite hear, he says he feels it so clearly, like being held by a myriad of angels, and then is greeting us in that same way. So I love you so much, Rabbi Robbins. Talk to you soon. Love you. And
when he said Shalom Aleichem, he told you in Hebrew the blessing of Jesus to the disciple. Peace be with you. Shalom Aleichem.
Peace be with you.
It's for the Jewish and for the Christian and for everyone. And in Arabic, Salam Aleichem.
Salam alaikum. Beautiful.
Salam Aleichem.
Salam alaikum. Beautiful.
Salam Aleichem.
Oh my goodness. To be surrounded by such beauty. So thank you, Rabbi Robbins. I'm going to end this call right now, but you're so much with us. So I'll send you the recording. Love you, and I'm with you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. I love so much Nehemiah and Rabbi Robbins and everyone. You know, we understand that these ancient secrets, they go beyond any particular religion, faith, culture, creed. It's universal. It's beautiful. It's like electricity. It works. You know, doesn't care if you're what color your skin is, or any kind of orientation you have, or what, you know, how you grew up, or if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't even matter. You know, we're all one. And I want in the space, Nehemiah, if you can just repeat again, shalom means, it's like namaste. It's like the God in me, the goddess in me meets the God or goddess in you. And what were the other phrases? And I want, in the context of who we're about to hear, as Marissa is about to share her story, I want you to listen in this way. Listen for that connection with her, with yourself. So can you repeat those three phrases one more time? What they mean?
And I'll expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hebrew and Sanskrit have a lot of amazing things in the secret in the language. And Hebrew verb have different way of saying them. So leishtamea, Shema is Shema Israel, listen to Israel, yeah? But leishtamea is in the reflective. You listen to yourself and you listen to the other. You reflect, so that's leishtamea. You listen to yourself and to the other person. Same thing the other one. It, leitraot. Hear each other and each other. So we listen. So I'll say the three words again, but I just want to explain a bit more. So basically, we say shalom. Peace is who we are. Peace is God and who we are. Leishtamea, let's listen to the peace and the oneness that we all are. Veleitaot, let's see in ourselves and each other the one that we all, and then the difference between us disappears, just an illusion.
Wow. So powerful, so beautiful. So in this space, let's actually And I see everyone who's raising their hand. I'm so excited to have you share at a certain point. I just want to make sure we have space for Marissa, and we'll integrate what you want to share soon. If you can put it in the chat, we can integrate it maybe a little bit faster. But before we hear Marissa, I just want to close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes just for a moment. And think about those words. You know, those powerful words in Hebrew that are also spoken in many other languages. That when we speak with each other, let's remember the divine that I am, that you are. Let's remember the God and the peace that we are. And in that remembrance, we can let all the illusion fade away. All the illusion of separateness, all the illusion of anything that's not divine. And we listen with our ears and with our heart to love, to the love that we are, to the divine that we are, to the peace that we are. And thank you for being here, everyone, for being willing to listen with love, to act with love. So I want to go right now to Marissa. And as everyone, as you're listening to her story, listen with these ears, with this heart.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. No pressure, Marissa. The best thing about this is there's absolutely no pressure. Who you are is more than enough. And your story is so inspiring. And so I love it if you start from, even 6 months ago, you described being at a situation that was one of the lowest in your life. And can you describe just what life was like, when you were at your lowest, and what was happening at that point?
Well, we were just coming off of a pandemic. People fell ill. We were locked in our homes, so to speak. Many lost their jobs. It was an absolute terrible time. But that was our test. I have now realized, after reflecting, that was our test for everybody, to take a really good look at ourselves. And it was roughly a month before Iran and Heidi's wedding. They announced they were getting married about 3 months before the date. So it was a panic. Like, oh my gosh, we got to get to Texas. We have to celebrate these two individuals and lift them up and celebrate this beautiful divine union of two souls kind of becoming one. And I was very excited, and family made it there. And usually at a wedding, and I have said this before on this call, after the wedding day, you sit down with the couple and you open gifts that you have given them. And Clint showed up at our Airbnb, and it was a gift for us. And it was the test. It was the test. That was the test that came. That was the challenge that came. Because Clint, you were the unexpected guest that came. We're still expecting you, but in a sense, you were our unexpected guest, because in a room full of people, you told these stories that were unbelievable. You told these stories that were kind of unfathomable. And then you showed us. My dad was one who stepped up and he said, who in this room is in pain? And my dad is in a lot of pain. He was, I think, literally 1 week before his hip surgery. And he was hobbling around and in some very serious pain. And you had done the test on him about touching his toes. And he couldn't, the first one. And then it got easier as you worked with him, and easier as you worked with him, applying the framework that Dr. Naram had given you to teach the world. And it happened before our eyes. So just as your book is a Western skeptic, Everyone kind of felt that, like, who is this guy? What is he doing? And it happened right before our eyes. Literally a miracle in 5 minutes.
Before you share any more, first of all, so beautiful. I spotlighted also Aaron and Heidi, and it is interesting. At their wedding, at anyone's wedding, usually the day after, you celebrate and you receive gifts. And their wedding was one of the most beautiful. This is one of the moments of just pure joy, and there's so many magical moments where all of us, we felt like I'm getting chills right now, but we felt like we're in like a timeless portal of love, and they had designed their wedding in such a way. So instead of receiving gifts, they gave everyone else a gift, and what Marissa's describing right now is one of the gifts. And I just want Aaron and Heidi, anything you want to share about the context of the moment of your union and your intention behind it. And then then I want to go back to Marissa, but
I'll share that it's beautiful to be here with my two best friends. Marissa is not only my sister, but just like my best friend. And then to meet Iran, I just feel so fulfilled. And it was really his idea and his heart that brought this idea to fruition. He said, I want everybody that comes to our wedding to feel the love that we have for each other and to have that ripple out. And I want them to feel like that unexpected guest that we treat as God. And so it was really Iran's idea, but to watch Marissa transform the way she did, it was like this light came back in her eyes, and she was losing weight and she was healing. And it was just miraculous, truly miraculous. And I just feel blessed to be witness to all of that, and to just witness all of the magic that's around all of us.
I don't know if you feel comfortable also sharing about your dream, but also that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. So when I first met Iran, he was leading a course called The Joyful Warrior, and Clint was a guest. And it was an awesome call. And I remember you saying, Clint, there's probably 20 of us on the call in this course that he created. And you said, with these Marma points, you can press and say what you want. And I'm going to call on somebody in the group that looks like they don't want to be called on. Heidi, what do you want? And I was like, we saw it in my face that I didn't want to be called on. But I said I wanted to write a children's book and get it published. And I actually am in the process now of working with a publisher who I met through this group who does children's books. But anyway, a couple weeks after you were on the call with his course, I had a dream that you were there. I don't know where we were, but we were at an event. Everybody was dressed in white, and you were hugging people, and we were a couple, and we were hugging people. Turns out it was our wedding. Almost a year prior, 9 months prior, it came true. And I'm married to the love of my life, and I see my sister doing beautiful things in the world. So it's just such a gift that has rippled out to so many people.
So beautiful. I love that in that space also, Aaron, he came up with the term. It was the first time we did an experiment where instead of just a pulse clinic where everyone just comes on their own and they do their own thing, we formed a unit, a circle, and a circle of infinite love, coil group. And it was a concept that I still love. And it's the first ever coil group, but I think there will be many, many more, especially as the book is published in so many languages. I mean, it's so fun, actually, just real quick. When I come home to my mom's house, I'm always so happy because on her mantle, I see all the languages so far, and it's just so fun to feel like this is just the beginning. And how do we create support system for everyone that wants to experience healing? How do we do that? And really it was in the cocoon of the love of your wedding and the intention that you both had, that also this idea was born. It was pregnant and then it was born. And the Mung Soup kits, and having this way for people to support each other in the healing journey. So you're not on your own. So when you have a question about oh man, my mung soup tastes so horrible. What do I do? Romarishi, help, or whatever. You reach out. And Dr. Stephen was so helpful, and that so many people were helping each other. And, everyone has still bumps in the journey. It's not like smooth road yet. And so to have other support in that system, I think makes so much difference. So Aaron, I just wanted to thank you for that inspiration as well. Anything you want to share before Marissa keeps sharing the rest of her story, or you can share after as well, if you prefer.
The only thing that's been coming through for me, and it's listening to this whole call, and we're talking about the group and everybody's connection on all the healing. I've been hearing a lot of different readings, and people talk about simulations and people that aren't real and without souls, and this is all a virtual reality and all this crazy stuff. And what I feel so strongly, why was our wedding so powerful? Why is this call so powerful? Why is everybody that's coming on feeling such a connection? And it's because everyone here is real. And there's something like very true about that. A lot of the things, maybe the teachings are, if anybody wasn't real, they wouldn't be here. And I think we go out into the external world, and there's a lot of, I don't want to know if it's unreal or lies or virtual or whatever, not that it's bad or wrong, but this container within the ancient secrets from you, Clint, and everything that touches you and everyone that comes in and everyone that's speaking and everyone who's around is very real. And when you connect with something real, you connect with your heart. And when you connect with your heart, then, there's nothing to be afraid of. And you just have the opportunity to shine. And so it's beautiful whenever we have the opportunity in an individual or a collective place to have that experience of this allowance of just the full divinity, and grace of beingness without any of the other nonsense. It's such a blessing and a gift. And so I see that a little microcosm in the call, to the wedding, to the group, to everything here. And I'm just grateful for all of it. And that's sort of the coil, whether we call it or not. The coil is energy. Our souls are integrating, our energies are integrating, and we're amplifying, and we're electrifying and generating. And it's just so honored and grateful to be a part of it in any way.
Wow, what a great description. That as we join on these Sunday calls, it's like our energy is like magnifying, integrating, and then being broadcast in such a powerful way. And I also love what you say about we're so real. When I think about being so real, I think about Marissa. Man, you are so real, so down to earth, so authentic. And I want in the space, in that context, please continue sharing your story. And I'll come back, Aaron and Heidi, at the end for you to share some reflections. But please, Marissa.
All right, so wedding's done. We met the unexpected guest, Clint, and we all went back to our homes. Now, I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids, 4 going to be 8 and 15 years of age. And so it can get really busy. Life is sometimes extremely chaotic, but I was dealing with something that some people would call suffering. I wasn't in any physical pain, so to speak. It was something different. It was something where I felt trapped. It felt like it's very sometimes hard to explain, but I'm going to try to bring myself back to that place after feeling so much joy and happiness for these months. And through this, I didn't feel like myself. I wasn't myself. I was very dull, dim. My spirit had dwindled to the point where even if I tried to feel joy, I couldn't get to that true joy. And I know all of you may feel that from a time in your life that you have felt true elation, a joy. And I just couldn't. I used alcohol. I, would eat cheesecake. Not that that's right or wrong. Just like Rick had said.
Oh no, don't talk about cheesecake, please.
I know it's hard. But it was the things that I was, putting into my body. And then the introduction to Hmong soup didn't come at the time of the wedding. That's the thing. Heidi introduced Hmong soup to me a year prior. So I was already making it without some ingredients. I had left out the hing. I couldn't find black mustard seeds, and your mom gifted me her very own personal one at the wedding because I'm like, where do you find those? I wasn't doing enough research. And so she gave hers to me. And it was the start of my journey there to make the complete Hmong soup with all of the ingredients. And here's the thing, with the Hmong soup, I still make it every single week. It's ready for me in the house right now. But it has a synergetic effect. All of those ingredients. So if you are missing one, it's still a very good soup. But I do say that everyone should get the exact ingredients on that list, because once I started actually making it and that hing was put in there, something magical happens. And I can't explain it. You're all going to have to go get the ingredients and make it on your own yourself. You have support here to do it. But there was something that happened. So I was on the Hmong soup for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I got in touch with Dr. Stephen out of Syracuse, New York. I believe that is where he is, his office is out of. And the Ayoshakti herbs were also put onto this detox. That was the framework that Clint had set up for me at the Pulse Clinic. After he read my pulse, gave me the information about myself. So number one, the framework. After you are meeting at a Pulse Clinic, the framework is so important to have because it gives you this mental model of the journey that you will be on. It's not easy, but it is very accurate for each and every one of us. So I followed that, and the detox was a very difficult thing. But I'll tell you what, the support system, if I did not have that, I would not have continued. To hear other people's stories on it, I would not have continued. The first day I called Heidi and said, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I hear from Zenka, and she was on the same exact day, started with me. And I heard from her and I go, I can do this. I can do this because Zenka can do this. And this person can do this. And it is a contagious healing because I wanted it. And the question was, Clint, you had asked me, what do you want? Was to live well, because I was suffering inside and I could not express that. I didn't know how to. So I get home and I have all of these distractions, so to speak, and my old life right in front of me. And so that was a very difficult challenge to get through, but I had the framework. Now, like, I have a couple notes here because there's so much to speak about, but it is easy to fall into traps and pitfalls. I make my kids mac and cheese and chicken strips, and I eat, a little bit with them. I stopped doing that. I stopped drinking alcohol, and that was a little bit difficult too, because it was my tool for relaxation. I'm going to relax and have a drink. And I stopped doing that. Replacing it with tea. Replacing it with 3 cups a day. And I started to feel better. Now there's a picture circulating around with me. Okay, I'm going to tell you this little story. I put this little collage together because I wanted to see for myself. And then I share it with the COIL group. And I'm thinking, Clint, can you share that picture? Okay, so last night we were in bed, my son and I said, here, look at this picture. Do you know who these people are? And he says, I know who that one is on the far right, and I know who the middle one is, but I don't know who The one is on the very left. And my son is
Wow.
going to be 8 years old, and he did not recognize me.
Wow.
And I just laid there like, I go, what? And he didn't. And here's the thing. I know that's me, but I don't recognize her either. I don't recognize that any longer. Now, what happened? What happened? How did I go from that to that in 6 months? The Hmong soup was huge, because what the Hmong soup does is it is the most anti-inflammatory soup on the planet. I'll just say that. And you'll be so surprised how quickly the healing starts to occur once the inflammation starts leaving the body. It's like it melts away. And I felt better. I could get back on my yoga mat and practice. My moods started to be more steady. And so I had to move through these layers, and you'll find that there's many types of layers we move through. We move through the mental, we move through the emotional, and we move through the physical. What I started to realize that my mental clarity started coming back. So then the mental maturity started to kind of be processing in my mind. So my intellectual came back, and that actually helped my business. And my business is elevating, and soon I hope to open a yoga art studio in Grand Forks, North Dakota, that I've been working on for the last 6 months. So kind of
Wow, bravo.
Thank you. I
That's so
opened up a
exciting.
part of my mind, a business mind, where I was so scared of to open. But when, the thing is, I don't want to go back to the darkness. And I saw the light, and the light started coming on mentally. And I was like, ooh, let's go. Let's open that. The emotional part of me, the thing is I didn't hold a lot of emotion because I was holding so much inflammation. And like I said, everything was trapped. It was so trapped inside of me. So the kind of motto I use for my business of Living Well Yoga Plus Arts is, the tagline is, everything you need is inside. I couldn't get there. I couldn't. But when I started all of this, the framework that we set up, the intellectual, the emotional, things started coming up. And I started feeling the emotion of joy. I started feeling even literal sadness that didn't even come before. I just was kind of in a haze. And then the physical was huge, because all of the habits that I had before, I had to unlearn everything. I had to start unlearning to learn again. It was like a baby learning how to walk again. So I actually had, at the lowest moment, you're crawling, but I was laying on the floor flat out. And when I started to feel again, that gave me hope and inspiration. And some of those feelings, I'm not going to say that they were right or wrong or good or bad. It was just a feeling, and I had to let it rise. I had to let it start coming out, because I think I was just pushing and pushing without even consciously knowing I was pushing things down and holding things in.
I just want to witness how beautiful that is. First of all, when we feel numb, sometimes we're afraid to feel all the feelings. And the fact that physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're in a position where, even as you're saying it right now, there's like a gratitude in being able to feel sadness instead of numbness. There's a gratitude to feel whatever is the feelings that come. And I just witnessing you with so much awe. Actually, I'm just reading some of the comments. I'm just going to read them to you right now. Renara says, Marissa, you're already a master. You will transform so many women, and they will heal their wounds and collective female trauma through your story. And she also says this, she says, you're an amazing and inspiring, powerful Shakti. God bless you. Esther Francis says, ditto, Renara. So brilliantly said. Devananda, as you're giving the name for your company, says all the power is within. Anita says, this is so lovely to not hold all the emotions. It can be heavy on us. Katie says, such deep healing here. Sharon Hinckley, I'm loving Marissa's talk. So beautiful. So you're just triggering something in us, even through your sharing, and allowing yourself to feel allows us to feel. And you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And you going on this journey, it helps all of us. So please continue. We have about 3 more minutes for you to share, just to give you context.
So the tuning in and taking action was the thing that got me through, was tuning into the coil, tuning into my support system, tuning into what my body was feeling at the time. And the action part is maybe the hardest thing, to take that step and do it. My social circle is not quite large. It's smaller because I have found my tribe within my community, within my own neighborhood, and with you guys, it's very large, but also it just feels like it's a container. So having that container, that support system is, or tribe, you want to call it that too, is so important. And Dr. Clint and Dr. Steve were always right there along the way. So you didn't feel like you were alone. And that is the biggest challenge, I believe, is when you start to feel alone, that no one knows what you're feeling. And they're trying to like, oh, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Sometimes you can't hear that. Sometimes that's the worst thing, or calm down. Everything's going to be fine. It's like when you're feeling so stuck and trapped, it's you feel that no one knows. But when you start to be in this container of love, like we all are, it is so powerful.
I just saw it popping on the call, Dr. Steven, and I just want to acknowledge him. We've been talking about you a lot today. I know you're out rescuing people on the ski hill, but it's so fun you're joining us.
Down with my vet today. We've been going up and down the hills. When we have this energy and this health, we got to use it to help other people. That's the goal.
Beautiful. I just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for being such a powerful support for so many that are here on this call. And when they need help, it just seems like you're there. We need to come up with a little jingle, that is like when.
Have it. I said there should be a billboard that says, when people are in pain, they think of me.
When people are in pain, they think of me. Now, Aaron, we just need to put some music to that, and then we can just send it to him as a special gift.
If you ever stop believing, give a call to Dr. Steven.
Do that. Sing that one more time. That's awesome.
What's that?
One more time. I don't think people heard the beginning.
Stop believing, give a call to Dr. Steven.
Yeah.
All good things are free.
If you ever stop believing, give a call to Dr. Steve. Fantastic.
Yeah.
He's got his hand on his heart. I love it. Just taking that in with the breeze. So beautiful.
And I got on it. My guy had to go back to his car to get some water. He forgot his keys. We dropped his keys off somewhere else. So I just put the thing on and boom, heard my name.
Yeah. Beautiful. Good. Well, so glad you're here. And Marissa, let's go back and we'll finish your story. Or it's not a completion of the story, but it's just bringing us to this moment. If you're going to give a comparison, what is life like now versus when it was at its worst? And just compare the two in different areas. What would you say?
I got what I wanted.
Woo!
I got
That's
exactly
amazing.
what I wanted. But
You're
more.
getting love from Leonore. She says, woohoo, she can't even contain the excitement. You did it. We started with what do you want and about independence. You did it. Yes.
We did it. We've got, I'm going to show you my tools. Now, this is kind of the framework I was set up with.
Yeah.
Book. I received a yarn beaded bracelet at the Pulse Clinic. I believe everyone might have received one. Well, 3 months into wearing it, it was slipping off my wrist and I couldn't wear it any longer. So I have it hanging in a very special spot. The next one I received was,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, the Durga.
Yeah. Reminds you of the
Pendant?
Shakti in you. Yeah.
And this was the mala that I had made before the wedding. And I took off my tassel and put this on immediately while I was eating the mung soup in the kitchen with Clint's mom and everybody else that was there. And then lastly,
Well, also the Mung Soup kit too. I'll just show this
mung
is
soup kit.
here's Rumi. It's such a beautiful light. You know, here's the Mung Soup kit, which I was told that is almost going to be ready. And they even gave a place where if you want to get on the waiting list, they'll let you know. And I'll put that, I'll find that email address. You can send an email if you want to know about when it's ready. So the Mung Soup kit, and then keep going, Marissa.
Yes, and I was on the call, I believe, last Sunday, and Amrapali. I heard of it, before, and I knew at that point I did not need it. There were just, when you start to listen to your body, you reach out and things kind of come to you when they're needed. And it popped up, and I thought I will need that. Or I want that. What do you want? I want that. Okay. And it
Real
came
quick,
to
while you're talking about that, for those that don't know, this is probably the last month that this will be available. This is the last batch. This is the last formula Dr. Ram created himself. And this batch was overseen by him personally. And there's really only a couple hundred bottles left. And in full transparency, technically the legal expiration date is coming up soon, but we just wanted to make sure it got in the hands of people that needed it and that you can trust the healing power of this. And it helps, there's all kinds of medical disclaimers, but I've seen such stories of women at any age. If you're having some kind of a way in which there's hormonal imbalance or something like that, or you just want more, I mean, it's amazing when your hormones are balanced, how much energy you have. When I was in Nepal, Tarun's mom said she was eating the same foods, exercising the same, everything was the same. The only thing different she did was take Amrapali's secret. As a result, she started losing weight, feeling happier, started to glow, her skin, her hair. Amrapali is known as the queen of beauty, a 65-year young woman, where the king was, oh, good, you got that. Yeah. Can you read the medical disclaimer or the disclaimer that's on there, the warning that's on there when you get
For
the
real?
Yeah, read it.
Warning. With this formula, many women have reported younger men starting to become very attracted to them.
Yeah, this is an important warning.
You alone are responsible for the outcomes of such attention. If you are married, your husband or partner should not show up to blame us for this. Instead, you may want to give him now some ancient secrets which can help him feel younger and more vibrant and virile.
Yeah, and that's a really important warning. So for the first time ever in preparation for this final month of it being offered, this has never happened before, probably will never happen before. We don't even know, because every time I'm contacting the factory, they're not responding. So it's available now. When you buy 4, it's like basically when you buy 6, you get a 33% discount. When you buy any amount, you get 15% discount. And if you buy 6 or more, you get 33% discount. And it's just powerful. And I'm so excited, Marissa, for you to have that. And we'll put in the chat, we'll make sure we send in the email. Actually, in the email everyone received, you get the code, but I don't know, maybe Cornelia or someone. Cornelia, thank you for all your support with everything. Just put in the chat that. Okay, Marissa, we're about to transition so everyone in breakout rooms can share, but any final message you want to share with us?
That warning is real. So real that now I'm like, no, I'm receiving love everywhere, and giving it also. But the beautiful thing that I would like to share with everybody is, to kind of summarize it, is you're gonna want to change. You have to want to change before any change takes place. And having the best tools of the ancient secrets is your framework. And we're here for every single one of you that wants to take that first step into your healing journey. And you have this container. So I think being open to wanting that change is really important. And I had a couple notes to go back to just very briefly to everyone that kind of spoke before me is that Rick was with the right and the wrong. Nothing is right and nothing is wrong. To try to get that baseline, that was so powerful to me. And Wendell with healing relationships. Not only did that change happen within me, it happened in my relationships. And I have a very blended family, you can say, but I have 3 boys and they all have different fathers. And that was kind of my journey of always wanting a family and not, finding that family. But I had to reframe what family looked like. So now I have a really big family, and I had to heal some really big things in those relationships to find what that family means. And I have seen my kids I have seen my children become happier children because I healed the relationships with their father as much as I could on my end. And I think when we do that, even if the other person isn't aware of it, it changes. So even if you have a block or that other person is not willing to even speak to you, or they wish bad things upon you, that's okay. That's them, and it's not yours to take on. What is ours to take on is to forgive completely and love them completely. Because we got the best out of that relationship was 3 beautiful children. So thank you, Wendell, for that, that you shared that this morning, because that's really important, that we're not only healing ourselves, we're healing parts of us, we're healing parts of other people that we perceive in them. So it's so beautiful. And then what Rhea and Sahat, I think it was Rhea who said this, was when you feel ill or down or whatever, thinking of it more as a spiritual upgrade is extremely important or vital to the what you're feeling is now what I have been feeling it as, and maybe even just naming it as. It's spiritual upgrading. And I'll tell you what, I've taken Amrapali. This is the 4th day, and kind of creeping me out, but it's okay. I've been seeing auras around my cat, my dog, my plants, and the whole entire world. And I didn't want to speak it to anybody, but Heidi and I were on a spiritual call the other night, and they said, "Do you have a question?" And I was like, I'm in this state of bliss right now that I'm not sure how to explain. And the spiritual teacher had explained it to the best of the knowledge, and it was beautiful. So it was a complete validation of the workings within my energetic body, my spiritual being, and I am real. So, but we visit different places and moments in our life that kind of set us back to be like, what is this? Feel it. And start letting that integrate into you.
Wow.
So I think that's all I really have for right now.
I just want to say, I think many people, is it okay if people want to connect with you further, they want to learn about even maybe how to have you as a coach or to support them in their journey. Are you open to something like that? And can you put contact information in the chat so people can connect with you? How is the best way for people to connect with you? First of all, Marissa.
Show up in my backyard. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Phone, messenger, email, I'll put all my contact information because I think everybody has different routes they take that's easiest for them. So
Yeah, please put your contact information in there. And we're about to, because this is the last day for the Miracle Experiment experience for the Sunday groups. And so we're about to go into those breakout rooms. I just want real quick for you to get reflection from a couple people. Sharon Hinckley, first of all, because you had your hand raised from the very beginning. I know you had a question before, but just about Marissa's sharing. What did it happen in your heart? What did it do for you?
Well, it made me cry, and I never cry, so that's really good. My email starts Sharon Yoga Art, though I end up spelling it Yoga RT because no one gets it. Anyway. I was going to say that I gave the book to a gift shop the other day, and I'm now going to start giving it to bookstore owners. But the age thing, a complete cycle is 144. So those of us who've crossed 70 are just barely at midlife.
Yes.
But I wanted to say I had my initial, I guess, experience in 1980 in, I don't know, February or March. I was painting in a rice paddy in Taiwan, and I had the, what do you call it? The awareness that when you're at the center of your heart, you're connected to everything in the entire universe. And I kind of had the awareness that someone maybe had that idea before me, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Anyway, and I've been to India 6 times. I've been to Nepal, and you don't have to go anywhere because you're already there. But it really is fun to travel, and I want you to come to San Diego. And I didn't set out to go to all 50 states, but the only 2 that I'm missing are North Dakota and Montana. So anyway,
beautiful. Well, how about this?
So just look out. You never know when I will end up in your backyard.
Sharon, let me ask you this question. If I come, because on my upcoming tour, if I convince Monica that we can do one of the clinics in North Dakota, will you also come, Sharon, and we can join, and Marissa can make soup, and we could have a real powerful healing experience there in North Dakota? I'll send you the information. You don't have to commit now, but just invitation with my heart. All right. Love you, Sharon. Thank you so much. We're going to maybe have a lot of people show up in North Dakota. Who knows? All right. Last people I want to share is coming back to Aaron and Heidi, just because it was I love how Sharon says when you're in the center of your heart, you're connected with everything. How powerful is that? And in this space of this call, Marissa, in the space of your sharing, you really dropped us into our hearts. And Aaron and Heidi, you had this vision that your wedding would be a real magnifier of love, that the ripples of love would spread through the whole earth, starting with those that you love the most, that love and healing would happen. And seeing that it's happening, to various degrees with various people. What's your feeling at this point in the journey?
Well, I feel like this beautiful testimony, there is no testimony without a test, and Marissa, you rose to the occasion. So beautiful to watch, like flowers. So, and during your talk, I looked over to Iran and I said, "That's your sister." And really, his heart, his love for other people, for my family, who is now his family. Yeah, just really grateful. So grateful.
Mhm. Mm.
All because two people came together.
Yeah, thank you for saying yes to love. Thank you for saying yes to spirit. Thank you for saying yes to the test.
So
to the
you got to
testimony.
pay the mortgage off, whatever the mortgage is. You got to pay that off. You got to make sure you have enough to pay off the mortgage.
What's the mortgage on it? Do you know?
Okay, there's some special message coming through about paying off the mortgage, and so we'll remember to do that as well. Let's do that. Let's live in abundance. Let's have that be our next 6 months. What if Aaron, Heidi, Marissa, all of us, Roma Rishi, Tara, everyone, how about we set this Aditi Devo Baba? What if in the next 6 months we create so much abundance individually and collectively that we pay off our mortgages? Okay, let's do that. So I'm personally committing in this moment, I have chills through my whole body that we create a new model for financial abundance in which we create in a very non-toxic way, that we create through channeling what is our purpose, that as we do things that are healing on this planet, that abundance comes, and that we can trust the miracle of abundance coming through doing things in a non-toxic, predictable, beautiful way. You know, Dr. Ram, really his passion was the healing secrets, but he had another passion. He called it ancient secrets for abundance, for predictable, non-toxic, super success. And he said most of the people that we met, most of the billionaires, whoever, they created abundance in a way that was toxic and they couldn't enjoy it. What do you want? Achieving it in a way that is healthy so that you can enjoy it. So I commit in this moment that I'm going to create some plan for myself and for everyone who wants to join a new journey, a new experience, a new experiment. And how do we use the ancient secrets to create predictable, non-toxic, super success and abundance? And Marissa, Aaron, Heidi, I'm sure all will be part of it. And Roma, Rishi, Tara, I just see you smiling. I'm just excited for you to be a part. All of us, we can join on this journey. How do we create more than enough for ourselves and prove to ourselves and to the world that, you know, abundance can come in a way that creates health and healing. It's good for the planet Earth. It's good for all the people and beings that are on this planet, and it's good for us. So thank you, whoever had that beautiful Aditi Dev Obama moment. Love that beautiful chanting. Thank you, Marissa. Love you, with you. We are gonna.
I say one more thing.
Absolutely.
Dr. Naram, I never met him personally, but thank you so much for weaving your love and your wisdom through every single person on this earth, and mostly everybody on this call and the ones that will watch it afterwards. And sometimes you just have to allow that source to come through. And that's exactly what I did. You allow, you step aside and you let Dr. Naram work his magic.
You know, as you're saying that, I feel so much gratitude. I'm so glad that you mentioned gratitude for Dr. Naram. I was at the airport in LA. I couldn't get on a flight, so I was there for one more day. I was on a call with Krishna, and he was in an airport. I was like, "Where are you flying to?" He says, "I'm flying to LA." I was like, "What?" So yesterday afternoon, this is my unexpected guest that just showed up at the airport. I was like, "Where are you staying?" He says, "I don't know. I don't have a place to stay yet." I called Arshia and her husband Payam. They welcomed him. They were so excited to have him come. Poonam drove me there. Yogi gave us lots of licks of love. And I just thought, man, Dr. Ram, he is really, you know, the forces of love are holding us. And Dr. Ram, as a symbol of the forces of love, are holding all of us. And so thank you, Marissa, for being a witness of that, a reflection of that. And I'm so excited now for everyone who wants to go into breakout rooms. You know, we have very powerful breakout rooms right now. First of all, let's all send Marissa and her children. We don't even recognize the old her. Let's anchor that in as a microcosm, the macrocosm. We love you. We're with you. So grateful for you. And again, one more time, let's put our hands together.
Can we do an om?
Let's put them, yeah, let's put it on our heart. And let's take a deep breath in. And just go, oh. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's amazing. We're doing something powerful here. So Cornelia, I want to express my love, appreciation for Cornelia. If you had your hand raised, you weren't able to share, you'll be about to share in the breakout rooms. As we're going into the breakout rooms, if you want to stay on, we could do something live. But Cornelia, just please keep the Facebook Live going, but just go ahead and you'll see, everyone, you'll see your opening on the breakout room, and you can go into the breakout room. Oh, Cornelia, any announcement you have or anything that I'm missing?
Nope, there's no real announcement except that just to say it again, we have another call next week, and that will also be our celebration for the MEE. So everyone who is has been part of the other groups, like the other days, Mondays and Fridays, definitely next week we have the big celebration at the end of the MEE next Sunday, same time, 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah, next Sunday will be a big call, so definitely invite your friends and family. You will not want to miss that call. The celebration call will have all the languages, French, I'm sorry, well, we hope French in the future, Italian, Spanish, and Russian simultaneously. The Miracle Experiment experience was in these 3 languages. We're going to make sure they're all invited. You'll hear such fantastic experiences. But right now, I want you to go in the breakout rooms. But Nehemiah, you had some final thought you wanted to share?
Yes, I want to share a belated gift to Eddie and Aaron Zahavi. It's not a tangible one, and I hope it lands well. Some people read pulse. I don't know if I'll ever learn. I read names. And Aaron, if your name is a Hebrew name that I know, then your parents gave you a blessing to be a person of peace. Wood is a middle name here. It's a very powerful part you have. And the Avi, gold. Not the gold that people dig from under the ground and empty from the earth, but the gold that we have inside, and you have it. The gold in your heart. And then the other gold will come as much as you need it to pay your mortgage and everything. So this is my gift for you for your wedding. I hope it's worth it for you. And the names have a lot of meaning to it, because when your mom gives you a name, she's at a prophetic moment, like Sarah that gave the name Isaac to him, which means laughing. She was laughing. She didn't know that he was born laughing. So when we get a name, one day it will be right to do this gift to people here, but maybe. But anyway, every one of your names, you can check with your mom, you can check with the internet, and there's so much meaning to your name, you can live up to it. And even more. Thank you.
So beautiful. Aaron, anything you want to say in reflection of that? And Heidi?
Toda Rabba. That was so beautiful. What a gift. Thank you so much for that. Just such a gift for that.
Bevakasha, you deserve this and even much more.
Beautiful. And I promised I would come back to Milovich at the very end. Let's just see if I can find you again here. Oh, good. This is your first call. Any takeaway? Miroslav. Thank you, Miroslav. Thank you. Anything love taught you on today's call? Any takeaway you want to share with us?
I love your book. I wish that I could find some clinic here in Ontario, Canada, that maybe you know someone that is in this area that do this kind of healings, like Dr.
Wexler, Steve
Yeah.
Wexler.
Yeah, Dr. Steve, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I'll be coming to Canada as well. And so I'll make sure I put the link. Just make sure you fill out the form so you can know about it. And we're going to be starting Circles of Infinite Love all over the planet and do it in such a fantastic way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Miroslav. Well, without further ado, we're going to go into the breakout rooms. I want to say thank you again for everyone who's been on this call. Just so thankful for you showing up. I know many more people have things to share, and I believe in the breakout rooms, if you go in, you'll have a chance to share and to hear in such a way it could change your life forever. So everyone who's watching the Facebook Live, you're not able to join that, but we love you. We're with you. I see Romarishi, Tara, you had some final thought you wanted to share?
Yes, we're in a Starbucks, so I hope you don't hear too much background noise. But I just wanted to say there's a quote from Rumi. There comes a time when nothing makes sense except to surrender to love. There comes a time when nothing makes sense except to surrender to love.
I want to write that down. They say that one more time.
There comes a time that nothing makes sense except to surrender to love.
Except to surrender to love. Well, that is such a good way to go into the breakout room. And just for those who've been part of the miracle experiment experience, to look at what miracles have happened for you and how do you want to use this experience to launch forward into the rest of your life? And for those who've just been on the call today, what did love teach you? How to surrender to that love? And so Cornelia, you can open up those breakout rooms. For those who are the mentors, thank you so much. And remember to record. So for those who aren't here live, they can make sure to join, and we'll work on making it so if you're not in a breakout room, we can. So I'm going to go ahead and go ahead, Cornelia, we can stop the streaming to Facebook. We can stop the recording, sending love to all those people who are watching.